morning. I hope everybody is having a good weekend. Just like you see here, I'm gonna be building a simple jig today. This is what you're gonna need. It's two pieces of wood. This is, I think, like I don't know, it's a quarter inch, I think. Uh, you can see it's not that thick. This is a half inch. You can use any piece of wood. All right, this is some aluminum. I think it's aluminum, if I'm not sure. I think it's aluminum. I have two here. It's a double jig that I'm gonna build. I'm gonna build two. One with two, that you can make two holes, and one only with one. Uh, I wanted to build this like a long time ago, but I was just kind of lazy. Today I thought like, well, let's make something, simple and doesn't take that much of time. I think this is something that everybody has to have, mainly when you're gonna join the pieces of wood together, and you're in a hurry. You don't want to do something that takes time and more complicated. It will be an easy thing, to do. All right, I will show you exactly what you're gonna be doing. Okay, to start with this one with two, this is what I'm gonna have to do. All right, like I marked on this side in here, and also on this side in here, I'm just gonna use my square, and I'm gonna trace a line in here, and the same thing for this side in here. All right. I have now equal lines, actually. The distance from the line to the edge, it's the same for this side as well. All right. Like for this side here, I decide probably I'm just gonna put them not too far, probably like this far from the edge. All right. I'm gonna make a line and then let's see here, I'm gonna go ahead and trace a line again. All right, now what I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna take it to the drill press, and I'm gonna make the same size of this, maybe a little bit. The diameter of my drill bit has to be a little bit bigger, just a little bit, or maybe the same size. I'll see how that is gonna work. One in here and one on the other side. Okay. All right, we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna make one hole here and one hole here for this one that it's gonna make for two down. This is the one that it's the jig that is gonna be only for one. We're gonna do one hole in here, one on each side for the second one. Okay, we're gonna start doing this in here. All right, like you see right here, I didn't push them all the way, but they're gonna be flat to the surface, so there's more room for this to go all the way down. And the same thing for this one. I need to use the hammer, you know, just to go a little bit. That can go and will be flat with the surface. All right, one thing here I want to mention. You see this line? I did this on purpose when I traced. Now I need to make another one all the way down in here. It's the same thing for this too. You can see it's right in here, and I'm gonna tell you why. Right, and I'm just gonna use my square and trace it. That will be squared perfectly. All right, just like this, because I'm gonna need this line. And same thing for this side as well. I'm sorry if I go a little bit with the details, because I want, if somebody want to build one, I want the person to be able to build it, not to struggle. Even if it's easy, you know, for somebody who's a beginner, it can be a little bit, you know, challenge for some people. I used to struggle with certain things. I see videos of other people building stuff. Then once I want to do it, there's certain times they jump, you know, and they cut some parts, and then it's like, oh, I didn't get a chance to see this part in here. I don't know how they did it, and that's how I end actually, you know. Sorry, I end actually not be able to do to build the jig or the furniture or anything that I'm building. All right, and this is very important things to do. If you really love what you do, you have to give it time. And explain. Okay, now you see this part that I have for this one. I have to make sure the same thing. It has to be even, and I have to mark from this line in here. Let's see, to this side right here. Okay, I'm gonna use my square again. All right, now I'm gonna trace a line just from where I marked it before. It's right here, you can see it. And the same thing for this one as well. And I'm gonna tell you why. All right, now I did for both of them. For this one, and also for this one. Okay, because what I'm gonna do, I want to drill a hole in here that you will be able to see this, because this line here, it's gonna be the alignment where you're gonna be actually making the holes for those dowels. Okay, that's what I'm gonna be doing. All right, this is what I'm gonna use to drill in here, but before I do that, I'm gonna have to make sure this is kind of lined up even, and I'm gonna trace a line in here. All right, the same thing I'm gonna do for this one too. Everything it lined up perfectly. Then the same thing, I'm gonna draw a line in here. All right, I didn't press pretty hard, but I'm using my square. Okay, and we'll see what we're gonna do here for the next step. I brought the 2 pieces of wood in here, and I'm gonna be making my drilling. this is the first. I'm gonna go for the second. Alright, I got the two in here done. I just need to do the last one. Alright, both pieces there are done now. If you do remember when I told you I need these lines in here, because these two lines, they're the one that they're gonna be the guidance where I'm gonna make a hole. Like for example, I want to make a hole in here. Let's see, for example, I want to make a hole in here and I want to make another hole in here. Of course, I'm gonna trace a line and then I'm gonna line it with this one in here, and then I'll go and I make my holes for my dowels. Okay, this is the same thing for this one too. All right. Okay, now before I put the glue or put the screws in here to secure my part, there's one thing that I have to do. I have to use my square tool in here, because if I leave it like that just with a marker or something, I'm gonna use my marking knife in here and just trace a little bit hard. You know, that will leave us a mark. Let's see. I don't know, you guys, if you're gonna be able to see it. You know, I already did it with that knife. Now I'm using this pen in here that can be a permanent in there. Because the pencil, you know, it's gonna be gone after a while, after multiple use, then it's gonna be gone. Okay, now you can see it. And same process is gonna be for this one. Same thing for the second piece. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna use the glue, and then I'm gonna put a couple screws, one here, very tiny screws, skewer this more. I got here some glue that I'm gonna be putting in these holes in here before I put this in here. That will be more, they will be glued, be stronger, you know. Once I'm gonna go with my drill bit, it won't come off or anything. Alright, I put the glue in here. I'm just gonna use my clamps. Just make sure everything has to be flat on this side in here and even. Alright, and I'm just gonna use my clamp. Alright, let it dry. Okay. Alright, I clamped them. I'm gonna wait for a little bit, maybe at least like for 1 hour, just to make sure that they're dry. I'm gonna drill little holes in here, and I'm gonna use some tiny screws just to skewer it more. And then probably, if you see in here now, you can see this line, that when you're gonna be making dowel, let's for example, I want them to be in here on this side. This is gonna be the one you can use the one. Now it's lined up, then you can go and drill through here. You want to move to the other side, right in here. Okay, and then you're gonna drill from this side. If you decide to make only one, that will be the same thing again. Let's see. Of course, you're gonna see the line in here because they have the clamp seats covering it. Then you drill from one in here, then you move again to the next line again, and you drill a hole. That's easy to make. It doesn't take that much of time. Okay, well, see you in a little bit. All right, I drill a couple holes in here. I'm using these screws, and I'm just gonna tighten this, the screwdriver, and then it will be ready for the use. All right, and I got both in here. Okay, and this is how it is. It's worth it to spend time on a jig like this to build it. Makes the job easy for you and faster, you know, when you're trying to join the pieces of the wood. Looks good. You see in here it's even. Yeah, just perfect joint. It is strong. Yeah, it is strong. I don't know if you're building, like, for example, frame for a door or anything. You know, you can use this technique here. All right. Well, thank you everyone, and you have a great weekend.